Now let us begin with the first question. The first question here is to pick out from the poem one line each that reflects an optimistic, that is positive, attitude or a pessimistic, that means a negative attitude. Now first let us write down the positive or the optimistic attitude. Now here we have the line, oft a little morning rain foretells or predicts a pleasant day. Then the poetess tells us that if the shower will make the roses bloom, oh why lament its fall. That means even though it's raining, why do we have to complain? Why do we have to cry about it? So these are the two optimistic lines. So first we'll mention the first one and then we'll write the second one, that if the shower will make the roses bloom, oh why lament its fall. Now moving ahead to the next point, which is pick out two sentences from the poem which indicate a pessimistic attitude. And here we have it. Sometimes there are clouds of gloom. So in this line, the poetess tells us that on some days you will experience sadness. Gloom symbolizes sadness. What though? Sorrow seems to win, or hope a heavy sway. So on some days there could be where your hope is feeling very low and your sorrow has overpowered it. Sorrow, that means your sadness, has overpowered your hope. So these are the two lines that we'll write under the category of pessimistic. That means a negative attitude. Now moving ahead to the next one. Now each and every individual experiences positive and negative feelings. How, according to the poetess, should we cope, should we manage, should we handle with our negative feelings? How do we handle these negative emotions according to the poetess? Or the same question could be asked in a different way, where how, according to the poetess, can courage quell, that means crush, despair. Despair means hopelessness. Now this is what the poetess tells us in the last few lines. For gloriously and victoriously can courage quell despair. So of course the advice given by the poetess is to keep moving forward in life and to always have a courageous, a positive and a brave attitude so that we can fight and face our obstacles and overcome or come out of it looking victorious. Now we'll write our answer by saying that courage can quell despair, can crush hopelessness, gloriously and victoriously. No matter how difficult the situation is, if one faces it courageously, bravely, he will find a solution out of it. Now moving ahead to the next question. Here we have to pick out an example of interrogation. So a statement that's a question, but it is a rhetorical question from the poem. Now what do you mean by a rhetorical question? A rhetorical question is a question that is only asked to create a dramatic effect or to make a point, not to get an answer in return. So we have a question in the poem where the poetess says, oh, why lament its fall? So this line is rhetorical.